So now I am going to talk about the summary of the blood supply of internal capsule. Alright, so remember like this, I already told about this blood supply in previous session of internal capsules, and now in this session just I am summarizing all the blood supply of internal capsule. Then I will talk about the nervous relations, various fibers, sensory and motor fibers passing through the internal capsule. Alright, here you can see the anterior limb of the internal capsule. Anterior limb. Alright. So this anterior limb of the internal capsule, it is supplied by anterior cerebral artery. Alright. And middle cerebral artery. ACA and MCA, anterior cerebral, middle cerebral artery. Alright. Now this is about your anterior limb. Now at the genu level, you can see your genu, it is supplied by anterior cerebral artery, middle cerebral artery, and one direct branch coming from internal carotid artery. Okay, just add internal carotid artery here. Yes. Okay, so now you can see here, this is the posterior limb. Okay, this is the sublentiform part and this is the retrolentiform part of the internal capsule. Now let's start from the retrolentiform part. Your retrolentiform part, it is only supplied by PCA, that is posterior cerebral artery. Alright, next, this is your sublentiform part. Your sublentiform part is supplied by PCA plus ICA. Okay, this is ICA, that means this is actually the anterior choroidal artery branch of internal carotid artery. Internal carotid artery, here it is written that internal carotid artery, ICA. ICA is actually giving a branch called anterior choroidal artery, which is supplying this portion. Okay, and now coming to the posterior limb. Posterior limb, here PCA is common. You can see here PCA is also here. ICA is also here. ICA is also here. Just add MCA. So for anterior limb, ACA means anterior cerebral artery and middle cerebral artery. For genu, anterior cerebral, middle cerebral, internal carotid artery, direct branch. Okay. So for anterior limb, anterior cerebral artery and middle cerebral artery. For genu, just add these two and just add only internal carotid artery here. Now start from the retrolentiform part. Retrolentiform part, it is supplied by your posterior cerebral artery. This posterior cerebral artery is also common here in sublentiform part, and another branch coming from internal carotid artery. This is your internal carotid artery is giving a branch. This is your anterior choroidal artery, forming choroid plexus also. This anterior choroidal artery is supplying your sublentiform part, and also this anterior choroidal artery is also common here. You can see here ICA. This ICA is nothing but the same anterior choroidal artery, and PC is also common here, and just add MC. This is the summary. So let's write the summarize from here. It is your anterior limb. Anterior limb is supplied by anterior cerebral artery and middle cerebral artery. Next to your anterior limb, which structure is present of internal capsule? It is your genu. So for genu, write the same thing here and just add direct branch of internal carotid artery here. Alright. Next to genu, posterior limb. Next to posterior limb, sublentiform part. Next to sublentiform part, retrolentiform part. Now let's start from the retrolentiform part. These are the 5 parts of the internal capsule. Okay. Now let's start from the retrolentiform part. In the retrolentiform part, it is supplied by posterior cerebral artery. Now this posterior cerebral artery is also supplying your sublentiform part. So posterior cerebral artery is common for sublentiform part. Here I am writing PCA, posterior cerebral artery. It is also common for sublentiform part, and this sublentiform part is also supplied by anterior choroidal artery. I am writing CH for choroidal. Okay, anterior choroidal artery. Anterior choroidal artery is direct branch of internal carotid artery. All right, anterior choroidal artery is direct branch of internal carotid artery. So just you are adding here one thing. This is nothing but your anterior choroidal artery. All right, and these two things are common for posterior limb also. So in posterior limb I am writing these two things common, and just add middle cerebral artery. This is all about the summary of blood supply of your internal capsule. Okay, all right. Now let's talk about the nervous plan of internal capsule, and then I will discuss various diseases or clinical aspects of internal capsule. All right, so you can see here you can see this is your cerebral cortex. Okay, so this is your cortex. Okay, so this is cortex, which I highlighted with. This is your cortex, cerebral cortex, and this is your anterior view now for this diagram, and this is the posterior view. Anteriorly you can see caudate nucleus. You can see caudate nucleus anteriorly, and also you can see here thalamus. Okay, and what is this structure? This is your lentiform nucleus, lens like. This lentiform nucleus outside putamen, inside globus pallidus. In between lentiform nucleus and thalamus and caudate nucleus, your internal capsule is present. You can see these white fibers present here. This is internal capsule. So this is the anterior limb of the internal capsule. This is the genu, and this is the posterior limb of the internal capsule. And then what happens? The internal capsule, it is radiating or diverging. It is diverging to reach the cortex. So the fibers, the white fibers above the internal capsule, they are diverging, and below the internal capsule they are what happens? They are converging. Okay, so internal capsule is acting like a band. Okay, which is these are the diverging fibers. This is internal capsule, and then all the fibers are converged here. All right. Now through this internal capsule, your corticopetal fiber and corticofugal fiber are passing. So for corticopetal fiber, that means the fibers which are going towards the cortex, they are called corticopetal. So the fibers which are going towards the cortex are corticopetal fiber. That means they are ascending fibers. So these corticopetal fibers are also called sensory fibers. Sensory. And corticofugal fibers. What is corticofugal fibers? The corticofugal fibers, the fibers those who are coming from the cortex towards the from the cortex towards the periphery. Okay, so this corticofugal fiber, they are coming from the cortex, or they are leaving the cortex. So we already aware about that. These fibers are your motor fiber. So both kind of fiber, motor and sensory, passing through your internal capsule. Internal capsule lesions. Internal capsule. So now if any lesions or any damage or any ischemia who is causing the damage of internal capsule, causing generally both sensory loss or motor loss. Now it is depending on the which area of the internal capsule is affected. All right, so this is the basic plan of internal capsule. Now let's talk about this thing, this diagram. Same diagram you can see here. What is this structure? This is your head of caudate nucleus. This is your head of caudate nucleus. All right, this is your thalamus. This is your lentiform nucleus, this much putamen and globus pallidus you can see here. This is the anterior limb. This is the anterior limb of the internal capsule. This is the genu of the internal capsule. This is the posterior limb of the internal capsule, and in horizontal section you cannot see the sublentiform part generally. Okay, so this is the basic plan. Now you can see the arrangement of fibers. Okay, I am telling that generally, so this is the lateral side, this is the medial side. Okay, generally the sensory fibers are more medial and motor fibers are more lateral. What I am telling, that you can see this much portion here. This is the general arrangement of the sensory fibers. Sensory fibers are more medially arranged. You can see also there, here. And the motor fibers, you can see here, the motor fibers, they are generally more laterally placed. Okay. So what I am telling, that if this is your internal capsule, okay, this is your internal capsule. Okay, so V shaped portion, the mouth of the V is towards your lateral, this is towards your lateral, and this is your medial portion. What I am telling, the lateral portion of the internal capsule, it is generally for the lateral portion of the internal capsule, it is generally through this area, generally your motor fibers are passing. So motor fibers are passing generally through this lateral portion of the internal capsule, and the medial portion of the internal capsule, it is generally sensory fibers are passing through this region. This is the general plan. Okay, this is the very rough idea about the internal capsule, and you can see these two structure also here, this and this structure, the metathalamus, the medial geniculate body, and the lateral geniculate body. So from the medial geniculate body, it is related to music, M for music, and medial geniculate body, M for medial, M for music. Lateral geniculate body, L for light. So medial geniculate body, it is related to your music pathway, that means your auditory pathway. Lateral geniculate body, it is mainly related to your light pathway or optic pathway. All right. So the fibers, the sensory fibers, third order sensory fibers, okay, they are coming from the medial geniculate body. All right, and then they are passing below the internal capsule. They are passing below the internal capsule. They are passing below the retro. This is what? This is lentiform nucleus. They are passing below the lentiform nucleus. That's why these fibers are called your sublentiform fibers. Okay, why? Because they are passing below the lentiform nucleus. So these fibers are passing below the lentiform nucleus. Here you can see they are passing below the lentiform nucleus. I dotted this. That means they are below the lentiform nucleus, and then they are reaching your auditory cortex. This is generally Brodmann area number 41, 42. This is your auditory cortex, Brodmann area number 41 and 42. All right, and also you can see the fibers coming from the lateral geniculate body. Okay, they are also passing behind the lentiform nucleus. lentiform nucleus. That's why these fibers are also called, what? These fibers are also called your retrolentiform fibers. Why? These fibers are passing behind the lentiform nucleus, that's why they are called retrolentiform. And these auditory fibers, they are passing below the lentiform nucleus, that's why they are called your sublentiform fibers. Sublentiform fibers are reaching your auditory cortex, which is also called your Hazel's gyrus, okay, also called your superior temporal gyrus, auditory cortex or superior temporal gyrus, or this is also called Hazel's gyrus. All right, Brodmann area number 41, 42. And your fibers coming from lateral geniculate body, those who are related to optic pathway, they are reaching where? They are reaching into Brodmann area 17, occipital lobe, Brodmann area 17. Okay, this is your occipito-visual cortex, okay, also called your also the calcarine sulcus. That's why these fibers, the optic fibers, those who are coming from the lateral geniculate body and reaching your calcarine sulcus of occipital lobe, okay, this is called your geniculocalcarine fibers. Because why these fibers are called geniculocalcarine fibers? These fibers are arising from lateral geniculate body and then reaching to calcarine sulcus of occipital lobe, or you can say also Brodmann area 17, those who are related to occipito-visual cortex. These fibers are also called your geniculocalcarine sulcus fibers. Okay, so this is the basic idea, all right, of nervous arrangement. Yes, you can see one peak here also. This is your caudate nucleus, head of the caudate. You can see this is the head of the caudate, this body of the caudate, this tail of the caudate. At the end of the caudate nucleus, you can see the amygdaloid body. Amygdaloid body is attached. All right, and you can see here the fibers, those who are passing, these are actually forming the internal capsule. And you can see this thing, that this is your anterior limb, this is your genu, this is your posterior limb, and this is your retrolentiform part of the internal capsule. This is also another way of representation. Yes, I want to discuss this peak also. I want to discuss this peak. The same thing you can also appreciate here. Here you can see the caudate nucleus, you can see the thalamus, you can see the lentiform nucleus and the internal capsule also. So these two structure, you can see the medial geniculate body and lateral geniculate body. Okay, medial geniculate body and lateral geniculate body. From medial geniculate body, I already told M for music, okay, and M for medial geniculate body. Okay, and also I told that L for what? L for lateral geniculate body and L for light, L-I-G-H-T. So these things I told you about metathalamus. These two are actually called your metathalamus. Okay, so here you can see the medial geniculate body, it is related to your optic, not optic, it is related to your music pathway, that means your auditory pathway. Okay, you can see these fibers are running below the lentiform nucleus, that's why the fibers coming from the medial geniculate body, they are called your sublentiform fibers. Why they are called sub means below lentiform nucleus, that's why they are called your sublentiform fibers. And these fibers are reaching into your primary auditory area, which is also called your Hazel's gyrus. Okay, or you can say Brodmann area 41, 42, auditory cortex, primary auditory cortex. All right, you can see this is Hazel's gyrus, Brodmann area 41, 42. Or another thing, you can see from lateral geniculate body, the fibers are running and goes posterior and entering into your occipito-visual cortex. Occipito-visual cortex you can see it is reaching into your calcarine sulcus. Calcarine sulcus. So these fibers are coming from lateral geniculate body to calcarine sulcus. That's why these fibers are also called your what? Lateral geniculate body, geniculocalcarine tract. Geniculocalcarine tract. Okay. These fibers are also called your striation or stride tract. Okay, or you can see this cortex, your occipitovisual cortex is also called your striate cortex. Why? Because some striation are seen here. These striation are called striation of Guinneri are present here in occipitovisual cortex. That's why this is called your striate cortex. And this is Brodmann area 17, primary visual cortex, Brodmann area 17. Okay, and these fibers are running posterior or running retro to the lentiform nucleus. That's why these fibers are called your retrolentiform fibers. All right. So retrolentiform fibers, already I told that one mnemonic. This is your sublentiform fibers are related to your auditory pathway, and retrolentiform fibers is related to your optic pathway. I already told this mnemonic previously. This is one arrangement. All right. Now let's draw this diagram. Okay. And you can see other fibers arrangement also here. The corticospinal tract or motor tract here. Okay. Corticonuclear tract at the genu level, and corticorubral tract you can see here, and sensory tracts are in these portions. Okay, so this is the basic introduction. Now let's talk about the arrangement of nerves, arrangement of fibers. Before discussing the arrangement of fibers, I am drawing this diagram for revision. For revision purpose, I'll draw this diagram now. So for revision, I am drawing the lentiform nucleus. First of all, I am drawing the midline of body. This is your midline, you can see here. All right. This is your lentiform nucleus. Okay, the innermost portion is globus pallidus and outermost portion is putamen. Same thing this side also. This is also your globus pallidus and this is your putamen of lentiform nucleus. All right, and I am drawing now the thalamus. This is what? This is thalamus. Okay, this is thalamus. And this is your medial geniculate body. This is your lateral geniculate body. Okay, and everybody knows that in between two thalamus, your slit like structure. What is this? This is your third ventricle. All right, now you can see the head of caudate nucleus here. Head of caudate nucleus here. All right, and now I am going to draw the white fibers bundles. These fibers are internal capsule, guys. Also this side also internal capsule. So it is anterior limb, it is genu, it is posterior limb. Anterior limb, genu, posterior limb. All right. So now you can see this thing that the fibers, those controlling the movement, one thing which I want to mention here, your pyramidal tract. Your pyramidal tract, it contain your corticonuclear tract and corticospinal tract. Pyramidal tract is contain corticonuclear tract, corticospinal tract. Pyramidal tract is actually controlling your motor movements, okay, of head neck portion. Motor movement of head neck, it is controlled by corticonuclear tract, and other upper limb, trunk and lower limb, it is controlled by your corticospinal tract. All right, why this is called corticonuclear tract? Because the motor fibers arising from cortex, and they are ending or terminating at the level of motor nucleus of cranial nerves. That's why these fibers are called corticonuclear fiber, okay. And these fibers are also originating from your cortex, and these fibers are terminating at your spinal cord level. That's why these fibers are called your corticospinal fiber, cortex to spinal cord. These fibers are corticonuclear because cortex to motor nucleus of cranial nerve. All right, now you can see, let's draw a man, his head at the genu of the internal cortex and his trunk, upper limb, lower limb at the posterior limb of the internal cortex. That means the muscles of the head neck region, okay, are controlled by your corticonuclear tract, and this corticonuclear tract, it is actually passing through the genu of the internal capsule. All right, so this area, it is generally for corticonuclear tract, and you can see this area is generally for your corticospinal tract. So genu, it is corticonuclear tract is passing through this genu. Corticospinal tract is passing through the posterior limb of the internal capsule. Which side? Towards the lateral side. And what is passing through the medial side? This is the sensory fibers, they're dotted, sensory fibers, okay. And the upper limb, trunk and lower limb, the motor fibers, those who are controlling the function of upper limb, trunk and lower limb, they are passing through the posterior limb of the internal capsule, okay. So this is your corticospinal tract, this is passing through the posterior limb of the internal capsule. All right, now if any damage at the genu, and at the posterior limb, causing what? Causing your total hemiplegia of face, and also, and one thing which I will also tell here, the sensory fibers of head neck are also at this region, and sensory fibers are also trunk, also passing through this posterior limb region. So sensory fibers and motor fibers of head neck region is passing through your genu of the internal capsule, and sensory fibers and motor fibers of upper limb, trunk and lower limb are passing through the posterior limb of the internal capsule. Now any injury at the genu and posterior limb level, okay, or ischemia due to blocking of these vessels, causing what? Causing contralateral hemiplegia. That means hemiplegia of the opposite side of the body. If right sided internal capsule is damaged, causing left sided hemiplegia. What is hemiplegia? The one sided face, one sided trunk, one sided upper limb and one sided lower limb is totally affected. No sensation from this region, okay, and also muscles of these regions are totally paralyzed. Sensory motor loss, actually mainly motor loss is your hemiplegia from contralateral side due to crossing of the fibers, okay. So if only genu is affected, causing what? The hemiplegia of face, contralateral hemiplegia of face. If genu and posterior limb both affected of internal capsule, causing what? It causing contralateral hemiplegia of both face and trunk and upper limb, lower limb, all. Only posterior limb is affected. Only posterior limb is affected. Causing what? Only posterior limb is affected. It causing contralateral hemiplegia, not in face. Face is paired. Upper limb, trunk, lower limb. All right. So this is the basic discussion. Now you can see from medial geniculate body your fibers are coming. From medial geniculate body you can see the fibers are coming and passing through the sublentiform part of the internal capsule and below, then passing below the lentiform nucleus, that means the sublentiform part of the internal capsule, and then they are reaching at your auditory cortex, primary auditory cortex. All right, M for music, M for medial geniculate body. This auditory cortex, Brodmann area 41-42, or you can write Hazel's gyrus, or also STG, superior thalamic gyrus. And another fibers also you can see here. This is your coming from lateral geniculate body and passing behind the lentiform nucleus as retrolentiform fibers. Okay, so this is sublentiform fibers, this is retrolentiform fibers, and reaching into your occipital cortex. This occipital cortex, this is also called your occipito-visual cortex, area number 17, Brodmann area number 17. Okay, or this is also called your striate cortex. This is also called your occipito-visual cortex or striate cortex. Why striate cortex? Because various striations are seen there. These striations are also called your striation of Guinness. And these retrolentiform fibers are coming from lateral geniculate body to calcarine sulcus of the occipito-visual cortex. That's why these fibers are also called your geniculocalcarine fibers, geniculocalcarine tract or geniculocalcarine fibers. And these fibers are also called the posterior thalamic radiations or optic radiations. I will tell these things later. And these fibers are also, the auditory fibers are also called your inferior thalamic radiations or auditory radiations. Okay, this is the overview. All right, now let's talk about the more detail of the fibers and various diseases in next session.